So this is what we're looking at. So as I said, as I mentioned in the previous session where I was introducing this course, or this topic for discussion, this is no longer just a train the trainer qualification. This is also speaking and presenting skills. Okay, how to get the message across, how to ensure that learning takes place. Yeah, you haven't just had, zombies sitting there and just attending because they've got to be there. No, you've ensured that learning takes place. So this is equipping you to make sure that that happens when you deliver training, if you're the attendee. But not only that, this will stretch you. Okay, this will stretch you, and although that's uncomfortable, the stretching process is always uncomfortable. Once you've gone through that stretching process, you are more confident. So this isn't only about you delivering training or coaching in your workplace. This is also about you being more confident in meetings, more confident in achieving change, more confident in conflict situations. Yeah, where perhaps an incident has happened and now you need to facilitate root cause analysis. You can do that more confidently because you've been through this course. So how you speak to people, how you deal with tricky people, people with negative attitudes, this is all part of this course. Okay, so it is exciting. It really is an enjoyable course. Let's look at the course content. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier when I just talked about us coming to this session, if you've previously looked at the website, and the website does need to be updated, okay, because this is very new, you will have noticed that this used to be a 2-day course. Okay, it's now a 3-day course, and it's a better course for it.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's a better qualification, right? And it incorporates all those things I've just mentioned. So it's not only a train the trainer. It is also slightly more expensive now, okay? But it deserves to be. It is a better qualification. So let's just take a look at some of the content. On day 1, it talks about how we learn and why we are teaching in the first place or coaching someone. So what's the ultimate requirements? What is the message we're trying to get across? And can I just say that this isn't, as I said, the scope of this isn't only delivering training, pretty much like what I'm doing now. So it's not only about formal courses. It's also about training your own staff and your colleagues internally. It's also about achieving change. And it's about coaching too. So you might very much be involved in coaching people around you on a daily basis. And that's what we cover here too. So taking into account all those different styles of teaching and achieving improvement and development, we then say, okay, can you also then imagine the different scenarios around your delivery of your message and the structure of what you're trying to deliver? And that too can take a variety of forms. It could be literally in the factory next to a machine where you are coaching a new member of staff. Or it could be a formal training session where you are delivering a formal qualification. Yeah, so we look at all of those aspects. On day 1, the attendees are asked to deliver a 5-minute presentation. You do get time over a long enough lunch to plan your 5-minute presentation. And it's a lot of fun, honestly. I've literally had people teaching me how to tie shoelaces. Okay. In quite a technical way, actually. They're quite professional runners, and there are ways of tying shoelaces. I had no idea for proper running shoes. So I've had all sorts delivered to me in this 5-minute presentation. It is great fun. Okay.
It's a great icebreaker for later on as well.
It is, Steph. It is. And you know what's quite nice too is even though people are sometimes nervous, it's all tongue-in-cheek and it's all done with a laugh.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's lovely to see from day 1 to day 2 to day 3 the improvements. Oh gosh, yeah. It's so rewarding.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It's what the job's about.
Yeah, exactly. And after the presentation, of course, there's feedback. There's feedback from myself. There's feedback from your colleagues, your fellow course attendees as well. And it's all done in a lovely way. Okay. And so that it's taken constructively so that we see this improvement through the 3 days. Okay. We also talk about content development of your course or whatever your message is that you're trying to get through, and how to effectively communicate. At some stage during this course, we also look at individuals and different learning styles.
Yeah.
Okay. For example, I am not an audio learner. I need to see something visual.
Yeah.
A good example of that is on a first introduction to somebody, I never catch their name. It's guaranteed that I am not going to catch their name. They can tell me the name, but I will not catch it. But if I pay attention and I visualize the name in letters, then I've got it.
Yeah.
Then I've got it. But I'm not an audio learner. So there are lots of different styles of learning. That's just one example.
There's only about 15% of the population that are audio learners. The vast majority are visual or kinesthetic or combination.
That's it, Steph.
It's very rare to come across somebody who's an audio learner. My husband's an audio learner, and I've had to, really, and I have had to, when I've been demonstrating something or talking things over with him, I have to bring that back into my mind that he's got a different way of learning.
Yeah.
Very small percentage of the population. So anybody that is quite unique.
Quite unique. Yeah. And another fun way to look at it is, can you take directions from someone?
Oh
no.
No.
You're right, Steph, because most people can't. After the third left, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. I've lost it.
I have to look at a map.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you know what? It's these kinds of discussions that makes this course fun, because like it or not, or accept it or not, people like attention. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're learning about something that helps you to learn about yourself first and foremost, it's interesting. Yeah. And you start thinking, oh, how do I learn? And being able to, or being aware of those different learning styles and different attitudes and different strengths helps you to then put yourself in other people's shoes, your learners' shoes.
Yes. I think also by watching other people do their presentations, you see something that is really good and you think, I'm going to borrow that, I'm going to use that, I'm going to steal that. Exactly. And so your own experience expands. And the more people that you watch, the bigger your repertoire and your sort of library, if you like, to use the tools as such becomes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And that's the benefit of this experience for this course. Quite right. And so on day 2, we're definitely covering speaking skills, and now we need to do a 15-minute presentation. But the benefit of this presentation is you've had overnight to work on it. Okay. So again, some brilliant presentations that I've seen in the past. So interesting. I've had people come in with their artwork. They're artists, and just as hobbies. And they come in and then they share some of their art techniques with us. I had another lady who was an avid gardener, and she came in with some seeds and potting soil, and she taught us how to do some basic gardening. And it's so interesting. I had another chap who was really into his car, and he showed us how to do some basic safety checks on a car. And I was like, wow, that was really informative. and it was great. So yes, the nice thing about this is in fact, on days 1, 2, and 3's talks, you're talking about something that you know it. So you pick your subject, and that's the whole thing about teaching, isn't it? Is it's rewarding because you are the expert. You do know your stuff. The only question is, can you effectively transfer that knowledge over to somebody else? Yeah. And so yes, you picking your topic here for discussion, so it's also enjoyable. We do again give feedback, and we're talking here also about presenting with confidence. And then the assignment that we talk about is a slightly more formal assignment for day 3, which is a 25-minute presentation. And again, it's on a subject of your choice. And it can be the same subject that you picked for the previous day, but perhaps you've taken into account some of the feedback and you've had opportunity to now touch it up, and make it better and more comprehensive. And so, yes, it can be a different subject or it can be the same subject for day 3. Again, we give feedback. And there is opportunity throughout this course using a workbook to take down notes and pointers for yourself. There's a lot of self-reflection and self-development that goes on in this course. And you will notice on the slide coming up at the end of the day that this is how the course is assessed. It's through your self-reflection and your own development plan and the presentations.
I think also when we're presenting something that's familiar to us, it gives us confidence. But because we're so familiar with it, we can miss out vital steps because to us it's second nature. It's just like breathing. Mm-hmm. And so that it's very easy to take that 15-minute and make it into 25 because we may have not explained some of those steps in enough detail because to us it's just obvious.
Yes, you're quite
because
right.
It's our
Yeah. So those course attendees are fresh eyes, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're fresh eyes to give us that feedback, and we can be like, oh yeah, okay, I didn't see that, and that was obvious to me, but not to you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ah, yes. And also for non-native speakers, it's an extra challenge how to present the information and to communicate the message successfully. Yes, fantastic.
What
really
a good comment. Yes.
Yeah.
What a good comment, Snezhina. Now,
thank you.
Just by the way, Snezhina is excellent in communicating in English. but
yes.
It's still a fantastic point. Fantastic point. Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's that extra level of confidence.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Good comment.
Thank you.
So again, just a few slides, to give you a flavor for some of the course content. Okay, here's a slide on course content. But this is the content of your training as an attendee, some of the content that you would be developing as part of the training that you would then be delivering when you go away from the course. And so just some general guidance here, for example, start with what the learners know. That's a really good place to start, isn't it? And then build on what the learners know. You don't teach a child to read before they know their letters. Yeah. So it's good common sense stuff, but it's a good reminder as well. Start simple and then build up. Yeah. Provide essential support information on how to do this and how to develop your course content or your coaching plan or whatever it is that you are trying to communicate, or how to develop a plan to achieve change in a food business. Okay, the principles are the same.
Yeah.
Use small logical steps.
The graphic you've chosen is fantastic there.
Yeah.
And this again is how we learn visually. The majority of us are visual learners.
That's it, Steve. That's it. Yeah. And so this is content.
Yeah.
This is content delivered audio or audibly, as well as visually. Yeah, absolutely. And then the presentation sessions are the doing. It's the practice of what we've done. And we've got another slide. I can't remember if I've included it here or not. But there's the method of tell me what I need to do and then show me what I need to do and then let me show you how it's done.
Yes.
And another good way of learning. And in the content development of your training, use real examples. And the feedback, as I've mentioned already before today, the feedback from a lot of our courses, from course attendees, is I learned so much. And the learning isn't always just from the course content, but from what other people in the course have told them. They're sharing their experiences, and that's real examples. Yeah. And I try to share real examples in all of my courses. Real examples. That's what makes the message stick or resonate, isn't it?
Spot on.
Okay. Let's take a look at the next slide. This is again something that's a good guide. Is what is the right balance in terms of achieving learning. Now, this has to be adjusted depending on the scenario, but typically what this slide is trying to say is that the trainer should talk or be doing only 30% of the time. For excellent learning to take place, most of the doing should be by the learner. Yeah. And if we can ever achieve this, this is the ideal balance. For example, if you're on the line and you've got a new member of staff and you've got to teach them how to use the metal detector, show them, but then let them do it. Let them practice. Let them actually do that under observation, where you can then guide them. Yes, you're doing that right, or no, you're not doing that quite right. Yeah. This is not always possible, obviously. You know, in some very technical courses, it's going to be much more the trainer delivering information and the learners doing a lot less. But we can try and push it. We can still try and tip the scales by building in exercises, by building in quizzes, by engaging the attendees. And that way, you're getting them to do more again. So again, this is just a guide for how you develop your content for your training or coaching. Another slide and a good topic for discussion is non-verbal communication, because again, we're trying to deliver a message, but how do we deliver it? How do we deliver it? Do we use our hands? Are we expressive? Or are we really boring? Are we just using slides with no visual aids? Are we just expecting a new member of staff to read a really boring, very wordy procedure, all in black print, no pictures, and then expect them to be competent in their job? And let's be honest, we all do that. In food manufacturing businesses, the main method of training our staff is by expecting them to read a wordy procedure. And as Snezhina says, English might not even be their first language. And then we expect that to be successful. You know, it's crazy. It absolutely is crazy if we're honest with ourselves. We all have mobile phones. We've all got the means and the technology to take video. Why are we not taking videos of how to perform an operation and use the video to train our staff? Yes, together with and supported by procedures, of course. Or why aren't we using more pictures in our procedures? You know, there are lots of other ways of doing this and making sure that training and developing staff competence is done in a more effective way. We know that health and safety people are doing this better than we are. Yeah, often I'll go to a site and instead of them making me read a procedure regarding the health and safety rules of the site, they'll make me watch a video. It's clever. It's very clever. I'm far more engaged. Whereas with a procedure, I'm just pretending that I'm reading. Honestly, I'm pretending. I'm like, yeah, okay, where do I sign? With the video, I'm engaged. Yeah. So again, this is just different styles. I've gone off topic for this slide now. I do tend to do that sometimes. But absolutely, it's all about how we get the message across. If you need to use hands, I often use hands and I'm often counting on my fingers, yeah, for points that I'm making. If it helps, it helps. It might not only be helping your attendees to get the message, it might be helping you. Yeah, it helps me to use my hands and to count on my fingers. So I do it a lot because it helps me. And I think it helps to get the message across as well. Okay, so that was just a little flavor, and I know that I've gone over time. Sorry about that, 5 minutes over. But we're at the end of this now. So how is this course assessed? It's assessed using the daily presentation exercises and a review. So I look at your workbook that you've created over the 3 days, a review of your self-assessment workbook and your own personal development plan. Don't worry, because none of the other attendees will see your own personal development plan. It's yours, but I see it as part of assessing you for that course and to achieve that certificate.